All right now.
Patrick Mahomes is basically God playing quarterback.
Chiefs Kingdom
Live!
They want it. They wanted it.
Now, when it's grim, be the Grim Reaper. Go get it.
That's a different cheer right there, baby.
Yeah, we're not having a snowball fight.
He'll get handled when he gets handled.
The Lombardi Trophy has a red and gold reflection. Touchdown! Kansas City! One of the greatest duos in the history of the National Football League. Patrick Mahomes to Travis Kelce.
Do it live!
Let's go!
You gotta fight for your right to party!
Let's go! I'm back.
Howdy, Chiefs Kingdom. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's Chiefs Kingdom Live. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, real quick, if you wouldn't mind, before you forget, make sure you click or tap that like and click or tap that subscribe. Maybe tell a friend, tell a family member, tell some Chiefs fans, help spread the word, grow the show. We'd sure appreciate that. We got a good show lined up for everybody tonight. Bo is back in the house, as you can see down there on the bottom. It's good to see Bo.
Put me on the bottom. I get it.
We're going to talk about Chiefs minicamp, some Travis Kelce, a quote that's kind of got some people's attention. We're going to talk about Casey Wolf, Dan Mears, who's announcing his retirement, what we think that means, and maybe like his legacy with the team. I think it's really, really interesting. Janet's in the house. She's excited to see Bo. Everybody knows Bo's the best looking dude on the show. So there are going to be a lot of people, especially the ladies, happy to see Bo back in the house. But before we get in,
jawlines. Look at those things. You guys
before we get in,
the Rizzler.
Right. Before we get into the show, fellas, how we doing? Bo, good to see you, man. Welcome back.
Yeah, no, doing good, man. Good to be back into actual housing, man. We went camping for a really long time, so getting to sleep in bed's quite the luxury right now. But no, doing good. Great to see you guys. Great to be back. How are you guys doing?
Good, dude. Yeah, I'm good. I'm off for the rest of the week, so the kiddos are down visiting the grandparents. Yeah, dude, I'm just ready for some summer weather. It's been just like dark and gloomy here for like a long time. So,
right. Yeah, I live in Seattle, Missouri. It seems like
it's
been nice.
Pretty good looking guys. We appreciate that.
That's very kind of you, Janet. Appreciate the compliment. Making Bo blush. He's as red as his shirt almost. Yeah, no, I've been doing good. Been doing real good. I'm excited. Chiefs minicamp is going. Royals kind of petering back out here a little bit. It's kind of killing the buzz for summer. So, when the Royals are really good, that makes for a lot quicker and I don't want to say it's like a distraction during the offseason of football, but just help keep your mind occupied and the time passes. But
it's great because there's a game every night, right? When they're awesome, and you're like,
right.
I get to watch them win again tonight.
Right. And I still like to sit out, on the deck and listen to the radio or something like that. But yeah, we're turning our attention to football a little bit earlier than we did last offseason. I have a feeling. So Chiefs
I met with a buddy who's really into baseball, right? And I was like talking to him about you guys and everything. And I was like, I don't really follow it too much. Like they just started, right? It's like, well, they're like 50 games in. So I'm like, yeah, they just started, right? They still have like 140 more games or something like that. And he's just like, yeah, all right, fair enough.
Right.
Baseball's wild.
162 games, man. It's
that's a season and a half. Good Lord.
Right.
Slog.
You get the series, right? You play the same team for 3 or 4 days and nights in a row, and I don't know. It's a very. I don't know if I want to say the opposite of football because there's excitement in baseball, but it's just a very leisurely, relaxing game to watch, right? You can just chill. You turn the radio on in the background, you go out to the game, you kind of sit there and someone hits a home run or you get in the ninth inning and you're trying to get a rally or something like that, there's excitement. But I enjoy baseball. Royals fan, obviously. So
I enjoy going to baseball games. That's a lot of fun. People
Yeah.
watching, drinking beer. That's always a great time.
yeah,
Thunder 1 game away from winning the NBA Finals.
yeah, we might have to talk about maybe Kansas City's de facto NBA team. I don't know how most people feel about that, but Chiefs are in mandatory mode now, mandatory minicamp, right? I don't want to say that it's like starting to count now, but I mean, they're really ramping up for training camp. One of the big storylines, probably the biggest storyline so far of the offseason, especially going into this mandatory practices, is Travis Kelce. Some reports have him trimmed down by as much as like 25 or 30 pounds. He's looking good out there. People are saying he's moving real fluid, looking good and making one-handed grabs and looking, I don't want to say like old Travis, because Travis was still good last year. He had 97 catches for almost 900 yards, man. Like,
He was still old Travis last year. Man.
Right,
Like,
yeah,
Travis
right.
things.
And he set out the last game, or he would have had that another 100-yard reception year. So, Nick, Travis Kelce, how much do you think being trimmed down helps him this year? And is that maybe more to speak about like how seriously he's taking the
Evidently, my cat
this
likes
year?
Travis Kelce talk. He just fucking came down.
The cat does. There you go.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Look, I'm excited to see what kind of an invigorated, remotivated Travis Kelce can do this year. I think he understands that his role in the offense is maybe not going to be as like the primary target like it was maybe in years past, but I mean, I think anytime you've got Travis Kelce on the field, like you're better with him than without him. I think that it's the players like him. It's as much like what he can do with his mind on the field as what he can do with his body. And so I'm stoked. I'm stoked to see him play. If he feels good enough, and that he plays for like another year after that, even better. I mean, I'm not ready for the Travis Kelce era in Kansas City to be over, so I'm excited to see what he's got this year.
Bo, what do you think about Travis Kelce? I don't know if like he was unmotivated last year going for the 3-peat and everything. He was still good, but maybe he's like putting in a little bit more work this year, or maybe that I know he did say that he's been saying that loss in the Super Bowl, he was, I don't know if I've heard him use the word embarrassed, but disappointed in himself and definitely was just did not play up to his standards. What do you think you're going to see out of Travis Kelce, and how excited are you that maybe he's refocused maybe?
No, yeah, super excited. I'm just really excited that the main storyline going into like mini camp and OTAs and stuff isn't like, oh, look at all the players with dad bods. Look at, and they're just zooming in on like Patrick Mahomes' stomach or Travis Kelce's like neck and stuff. Like, oh, look, they're not ready. And like, this is the throughput, right? It's like everybody's putting in their work in the off season, right? That was kind of what I've been gaining from the internet, and I've been drinking from a fire hose because I've just been getting internet access the past 2 days, right? So kind of trying to catch up on everything. But like, like the main 3 point I've seen is that like everybody's doing work, everybody's like trying to get on the same page. They're still bitter about what happened at the Super Bowl, especially Travis Kelce. He had some comments that alluded to him just being disappointed with how he played, how he blocked, just his overall performance. And I think it's safe to say, like, past couple of years, that guy's had a few distractions, right? He happened to start dating and like going around the world with like one of the world's most famous people ever, and that just brings a whole new level of stress I think most people can't really anticipate. So I think that mixed with like I said, he's just ready to go. I think that the way they played in the Super Bowl really left a bad taste in everybody's mouth, and they're ready to focus, getting ready, they're getting serious. I mean, everything I've read and seen is just they're getting ready. They're treating mini camps and OTAs like practices almost. I know there's no contact and all this stuff, but from what I've heard is like the 90-man roster is pretty much kind of determined already, just from all the drills and stuff, even with no contact. But yeah, I'm excited to see what TMFK is able to bring this year. I don't think he's going to miss a step by any means. Like you said, he did so good last year. I don't see why there would be any reason to doubt him. And this is going to be the first year our receiving core is kind of like not a new receiving core. We're having a lot of the same guys return. I mean, man, this is like the first year in a lot of years what the main receiving group is like. This is like the repeat guys, you know. I think since Patrick's first or second year that it's been the case. So I think with that being the case, Travis Kelce's going to be open a lot more than we saw in the past year, last year and the year before that, where we had to like kind of like rely on him with just our weapons going down and just the circumstances surrounding the team. So yeah, I think he's ready. Excited to see what he brings to the table.
For sure. Shedding that much weight, it just makes you that much more mobile, right? And flexible. And anybody who's on that yo-yo diet workout program like me, up and down, up and down, up and down, is you go to the gym and you shed a little bit of weight and you can do some of the workouts better and your flexibility is there, right? And then when you get off the program and you're being lazy and you don't go to the gym for a month or whatever, you know, and you're slacking on the diet and you go back to the gym, you notice like physically, like your body can't do the same things as it did before. Not trying to say it all. I'm trying to compare myself to Travis Kelce's situation, but when you're in better shape, you feel better, right? That's what that old saying, look better, feel better, play better. He's canceled Kelsey Jam this year. I think his focus is 100% on football. Like you mentioned, Bo, whether it was a distraction or not, I mean, traveling with your girlfriend around the world while she's doing these tours and, right? I mean, everybody knows, like, when you're in a relationship, you don't have as much time for the gym as you did before. You don't have as much time. You know, you're traveling around the world. You're probably not eating as good as you had before. So, not begrudging Travis Kelce for his relationship or what he's been doing. Listen, like I said a few minutes ago, the guy was still really, really good last year. He's one of the best tight ends in the NFL still at his age. And the guy has won multiple Super Bowls and is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's earned the right to maybe take a little bit easier here and there. But yeah, our man Brian, one man shows in the house.
When you hear that he's losing that kind of weight, does it like raise any concerns for like injuries or anything to you, or do you just hear that he's just going to be sleeker and faster?
Yeah, I don't know that. I mean, it sounds to me like it's probably he's lost the good kind of weight you want to lose, right? He's not necessarily maybe like a lot smaller or as strong. So I don't really have any concerns there. Bo?
I would say the latter, man. More like, you know, as you kind of age, the more fit you can be, it's probably going to be better to prevent injuries than anything.
Yeah.
And kind of going into like last season a little not as fit as he is. I don't want to say like it was pudgy because I mean he's a professional athlete by any means. But like I said, the focus last year was like I remember the word dad bod getting thrown around revolving our tight end and quarterback a lot. So
yeah,
that is definitely not the case, and I just think it's for the better. Yeah.
He had an interesting quote when they were interviewing him here at mandatory minicamp. There's Big Doug. Happy to see Bo's back. It looks like. The people they had questioned him about his future in this year, and you know, if he wins a Super Bowl, is he going to retire? As he thought about next year, and he said, "Well, I'm under contract for this year, but you know, me and the team will talk about next year." It seems to me like people just it's like almost like a certainty that this is his last year or something. I mean, Bo, what kind of chances, especially if he comes in slim and trim, and maybe feels better than he did last year, maybe is a little bit more productive. Again, 97 catches for 800 plus yards is still really productive.
Sitting out a game.
But maybe you see him get back over that 100 catch mark, and maybe he gets back up over 1,000 yards. If he's still got it, I mean, you think there's a decent chance he'd be back next year for maybe another go?
Yeah, man. I mean, I do, just because I think he's one of those guys that's like a once in a generational player that can do it. He eludes in like serious injuries. I mean, he talks to himself about how taxing a season is on his body, but at the same time, like that guy, he's unlike any other tight end that we've kind of seen since Tony Gonzalez. You know what I mean? Just like some guy that's just a game changer. He just knows how to put himself in the right positions, make the right plays, even if he's not in the best shape or whatever. So, I mean, like, again, these are all just attributes. He's coming in slimmer and trimmer, taking it more serious, has that chip on his shoulder from the Super Bowl. I think it's all just good things in his favor, man. Yeah.
Nick, I mean, if Travis Kelsey comes in and has another really good, solid year, or maybe even like a career year, you think there's a better than 50-50 chance this isn't his last year?
Yeah, I think that what they're going to do is they're going to see what this offense is like. I think he's going to see what kind of pressure can be taken off of him to be the primary target and always getting open with all the focus. And if they've got a receiving core that can, I think, take some of that focus away from him, and he can have a successful year and still feel good, I think he'll keep playing as long as that's the case, right? I think last year coming out of it, it's like, okay, so you didn't have like your career year. You had a lot of guys that went out during the season, which increased the double coverage and stuff that you were seeing. And then the way the Super Bowl went, probably was just like, I mean, do I want to keep doing this to myself? You know what I mean? But I think that losing some weight, feeling better on the field, maybe being okay taking a step back as far as like your role within the offense, but still being a big impact player. And I think, yeah, I think as long as he feels good and he's getting good results, he'll continue to play.
Yeah, you mentioned Tony Gonzalez. I remember his last year. He was still really, really good. I always thought Tony Gonzalez retired
Too
maybe
early?
a year or two too early, man.
I did too, man. I thought he still had it in him.
He was super good. I mean, he was a solid top tight end still in his last year in Atlanta. Yeah, I think probably he's got his brother in his ear too, Jason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jason retires. That itch has got to still be there for Jason, right, to play football. Even if he knows it was his time to retire, but
you gotta imagine like the workload of those positions are completely different, right? Like taking
sure, oh yeah,
versus like pushing 300-400
right,
pound men around
right,
all day, and then the tush
right,
push that he had to endure. Like
right.
I kind of feel like that was Jason's position was a little bit more taxing on the body.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not trying to like
He's
minimize
older.
the tight end position by any means. Yeah, he's older and just had like literally carrying the weight of his team on
Right.
most plays, So like,
Yeah. Playing on the line in those trenches is tough on your body, but I mean, if there's any like regret at all in Jason Kelsey for not coming back, especially with your team wins the Super Bowl, you got to think he's telling Travis, look, man, like play as long as you can, man. Like I missed
dude,
last year.
Just like,
I'm not saying that Jason Kelsey should have played last year or that he retired too soon, but like if he's got any of that feeling at all and being retired and sitting and watching for a year, I got to think that he's telling Travis, man, like, dude, retirement's not like, this is not as much fun. It's playing football, right?
As much fun as winning the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does. And yeah, it's premature for anybody to be claiming like this is his last ride or that he's done after this year or anything like that. You guys agree with that, Nick?
I do. I just think that he kind of invited this when he was like, yeah, I'll have to like step away and see if I'm going to come back. You don't typically think of a guy that's like, yeah, I'll see if I'll come back next year playing for another 2 years, right? I think that invites a lot of those comments and those questions about it. And people assume that this would be the last ride if he wasn't sure if he was going to do this year. So, but a lot of that I think is just kind of the Dave Chappelle right special where he's like too close to the elephant, right? Like you're too close to the elephant. He's had some time to get away from it now, and he can see the whole picture. And I think that he's, I think he's a dude that just loves what he does for a living. He loves football. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I'm not going to say it's too early because I think that he did maybe invite some of this discussion with how he handled things, immediately after the Super Bowl. So.
Looks our man John C's in the house. Good to see you. Yeah,
Nick, dude, I completely agree with you. I think it is a little premature to like start like talking about it and overanalyzing it, but I do agree that he did kind of bring it upon himself to do this. I mean, I think that's kind of why he announced his contract so early when he did, to kind of get rid of that discussion through the whole offseason. Like, is he going to sign with him and all this stuff, right? So I think he even said that himself at his press conference. He was ready to he was focused back in April or back in, before that. So, yeah, I think all this talk, it's just so if you're talking about next year, I think one step at a time. Let's just focus on this year. Let's get through this year and have a good season. Next point, a nice successful season.
Yeah, I mean, sign me up for as many years as I can of Travis Kelce playing on the Chiefs. He's a guy I wouldn't mind maybe staying a year too long, definitely than leaving maybe a year too early. I missed one man's show comment down there.
Oh, he said Jason is married. Retirement can't be as fun as when Travis retires.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to say like that Jason isn't enjoying his retirement or whatever, but
Sure.
I guarantee you that guy misses playing football and misses the camaraderie, especially like I said, watching his former team win the Super Bowl without him. I just think he's got to be in Travis's ear.
Yeah,
like,
that's got to be a little brutal.
Listen, man, if you can still play. Like, play as long as you can, because once he's out of it, and they're close and they talk about stuff like that, obviously, I think he's just got to be like in Travis's ear to say, look, like, just keep playing if you can, man. Play like as long as you can. But we'll see. We're not going to try and get too far ahead of ourselves and start talking about next year. But it was just an interesting comment where he said, me and the team will talk about next year, right, at the end of this year, which leaving the door open, right? He's got the doors cracked. Like it's
right
left open. So
like that, though.
Sorry, man. John C's in the house. Good to see you, John C. Thanks for hopping in here.
Good to see everybody.
Yeah, always good to see everybody.
Haven't seen, he's got a Lego sighting. Haven't seen him for a while.
Right. Looks like we had a Rumble viewer there earlier, Chris, I think.
I don't think he dug my cat jumping in right off the bat. What happens when I leave my door open?
Oh, yeah.
We're a professional operation here.
Yeah, I can't please them all. Another kind of story that I'm seeing and that we're noticing here is that
money Lego.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's got to make the hay while the sun's shining, right? Isn't that what the saying goes? So glad to see you're doing good. The first round draft pick, Josh Simmons, Patrick Mahomes is saying he's picking things up really well, and he's really excited. They're still saying that he's on pace to be ready for training camp next month. The training camp's like 4 weeks away at this point. Bo, he was your guy that you kind of picked and predicted the Chiefs would take in the first round. How are you feeling for his chances to be ready for training camp and be maybe ready to go like week 1 this year?
Dude, everything I've heard coming out of camp and or these OTAs or whatever is everything that you just kind of said, all good things. Somebody mentioned in the chat that we got to get this Trey Smith stuff kind of figured out and whatnot. And
yeah,
I've heard he's been there, just not, not full participant, whether or not he's kind of injured or doesn't have to, whatever it is. Yeah, I mean, he's there. That says a lot about his situation. But back to Simmons, dude, stoked. I'm stoked. Like, if I know, Scott, I think you've made the point, like, if you paid Smith all that money, he's got to be your guy kind of stuff. And like, I was kind of thinking about it, like, this is such a culmination of such bad things that have happened to our O-line that, like, I think that the Chiefs management's kind of looking at this as like a huge risk reward move, right? Like, most teams had this guy as top 5 offensive lineman out there, right? Until he busted, he had that injury, right?
Maybe even the best left tackle.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and like it wasn't even in question. Like he like most people had him going like super early before that injury and stuff. And this was a year before the injury happened and everything. So I mean, that's a testament to his talent.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's such a what we saw happen in the Super Bowl, man. It's like I think the Chiefs are one of those teams that need to take that risk on, right? And if it pays off, man, it's going to pay off huge. If you have a guy you don't have to worry about who's picking up all the stuff, and Patrick Mahomes has confidence in him, like that's all you need in an O-line, right? As long as he's giving him time and picking up his assignments, man. Like I don't think there's any complaints there, right? And that's all I've heard. I've heard he's picking up everything that they're throwing at him, so all good news there.
Nick, Josh Simmons, he gonna be ready to go? You think? I mean, is this still wishful thinking?
I still don't think he'll be the week 1 starter because I mean, of the moves that they made, I think they're going to ease him in. But look, I think some of this is political moves. It's like you're going to say good things about the first round draft pick, and you're going to say, you know what I mean? He's not going to say, well, it's not really progressing how we had hoped. Or I just think that they're going to say positive things, and I guess my point is like I wouldn't say that it means any much one way or the other, right? Any praise coming out of training camp. I think we've seen that before. We've seen the Chiefs like even sometimes I don't know if it's like subterfuge or what, where they're like hyping players up, right? And then like that player has like no role on the team once the actual game starts. So I take it with a grain of salt when I hear it. It's good to hear, praise, but I still would guess that they're gonna treat this investment carefully, right? And they're not gonna put him in any risk, and they've got a plan B. But I mean, only time will tell there, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they could say nice things and be like, praise the guy without saying, yeah, he's gonna be ready to go in training camp. Like he's progressing nicely and like what we're seeing out of him, and he's doing his best. And the athletic trainers, the training staff is really happy with how he's coming along and blah blah. But like to me, it's like they're saying this dude's gonna be ready to go.
Training camp isn't the same as playing in games either, though. You know what I mean?
Sure, but like what I'm hearing is like he's stepping in on like team reps and stuff, whereas like rookies, kind of like have their own thing going on and stuff. So like they're like really like testing him to see like where he's at and stuff like that. And not being like, well, we got some work to do. It's a long season, a long way away from the start of the season. They're like, no, like this kid's picking it up.
Yeah. I'd like with him coming back from the injury, they seem pretty confident enough to say that he's ready for this, because when he got drafted, there was a lot of people saying like, oh, how the injury and the medicals maybe scared other teams away, and that's why they didn't take him. And this is a project guy, and you shouldn't expect him to be ready, to play this year. For them to just be like going almost out of their way to say he's going to be ready, I don't know why you do that if you don't plan on him being ready and playing. Maybe I'm reading too much into that. Like I said, you could say a lot of nice things about the guy without throwing that extra stuff. Like, I don't want to say pressure of him to be ready, but sounds to me like the team's like expecting him to be ready to play this year. I mean, I understand training camp is not the regular season, but I mean, if you're not healthy, if you're not 100%, you're not going to be in training camp, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just, like I said, words are cheap, and they don't mean anything right now. I mean,
sure.
We'll just see like how it plays out. I just would, like I said, would take everything with a grain of salt that they're saying right now.
I guess I just don't really hear it as like normal coach speak, just trying to build a guy up like they do with everybody else. I mean, they're like going beyond that. Jalen Moore, not sure. He's a career backup. Again, was backing up maybe one of the, if not the greatest left tackle of all time in San Francisco and Trent Williams. But I mean, if Simmons is as good of a prospect as everybody claims about to be, and he really is one of the top, if not the top tackle in this draft, and he's 100% healthy and he gets a full training camp in, he should probably play over Moore, right, Bo? I mean, both guys 100% healthy. There'll be, and it's a competition. There'll be no other competition, but
yeah, of course.
I mean, Simmons' ceiling's got to be way higher than Moore's, right?
It's hard to say, right? I think training camp will say a lot about eligibility as far as health concerns as Simmons is concerned, right? Like I think it'll really kind of test his leg and see where he's at. Like you're not gonna like get a full game, like Nick's saying, right? But like it'll say a lot when you like show up for midweek practice and it's like he's having a limited practice today because of a leg something, right? Then you're like, oh, okay, so he isn't 100%, right? And then in that case, I would agree with you, right? So I think it's just wait and see kind of until training camp happens, and then I think you see some more moves being made.
Nick, I mean, if Simmons is really truly progressing as well as he has, and he's gonna be ready for training camp, and he gets a full training camp in, and both guys are healthy, which guy, like in your opinion, should be the starter?
Yeah, I guess whoever performs better in training camp would be in preseason, right? I'm sure there like if he's healthy 100%, there will be a battle, and they're going to go with whoever they think is going to protect Patrick Mahomes the best. And I think that they have somebody under contract that they brought in, and they have another guy that's a longer term vision. So I would see them maybe get like cycling through guys throughout the game, maybe giving him some reps. But I just see that they're going to take the guy with the most experience, and he's going to be the day one starter. I just think that makes the most sense. They've taken kind of some of these green linemen. Now I know they weren't first round picks, right? And somebody that could have gone maybe in the top 10 if they hadn't had the injury concerns. But they've seen where they've kind of thrown some of these guys in and they got smoked, and it kind of messed with their confidence a little bit. And so I think the Chiefs are just going to make sure he's ready. I think that they're gonna say, hey, look, we've got somebody that we know can play, and they'll probably have some sort of split, and they'll work him in. And then I would guess that he is probably, by the end of the season, he's the the starter, and he's taking the lion's share of the reps. But that's how I would guess, if I had to put money on it, that it will progress throughout the season.
I think you brought up some of the linemen that had problems. What I saw is that Kingsley Sumati is still projected to make the team. Like, Scott, you think he has any factor, or what's your answer to your own question first before that one?
I mean, his days of playing left tackle are over, obviously.
Yeah.
He's made the move to left guard. He's the heir apparent to the Joe Thuney left guard position now that Joe Thuney's gone on to the Bears. He was so bad at tackle that I'm not just going to buy in that he's just going to but he can go play guard really, really well.
Guard's that much easier.
I'm
right?
not going to believe it until I see it, that guy can play on an offensive line. Nothing personal against him, don't know him. By all accounts, he's a good teammate and a good guy. But he was so bad, man. He was so bad at left tackle. I'm not willing to just buy in that he can just move to guard and be seamless and be a solid day one starter. I don't know what other options they'll have. I know Cal Indo is a guy that kind of got some playing time and stepped in there. Look, man, the Josh Simmons thing to me is I just if he has that much hype and that much upside and that kind of pedigree, and injury is the only reason he wasn't a top 2 or 3 or 4 pick or a top 2 or 3 tackle taken in the draft, and he's 100% healthy and ready to go, you just sit him on the bench for a year. Maybe he's laying in wait. I mean, if Jalen Moore is the starter week 1, I mean, if he plays well, I don't know that you see them switch to somebody else halfway through the year.
Depends on how well he plays, that's for sure.
Right. I maybe he's in case of emergency, break glass tackle in case Jalen Moore struggles. Maybe you see him come in early, but I just feel like he's got to be on track to be the starter, man. If he's really as healthy and is progressing and is going to be ready the way they say he is.
I think it's almost by design. But it's super refreshing to be talking about so much depth at the O-line right now, right? Because I feel like that was obviously one of our biggest downfalls of last season. So
perceived depth.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. For one position. But I mean, like I said, it's just refreshing to talk about depth.
Sure. Right. Oh yeah. Listen. It's I hate to go back to the Royals, but it's like another Royals analogy when the pitching was so good. And they were bringing up guys from the minors who were pitching like Cy Young candidates. And it was the Chiefs almost have too much starting pitching. And should they go to a 6-man rotation? Because they've got too many starters in the organization right now. And all of a sudden an injury too happens where a guy, maybe some of the shine comes off and he regresses back to the mean. And all of a sudden now you're scrambling, right? Like you can't have too many offensive linemen.
I'll throw another Royals analogy out there that may make sense with Kingsley Suamate's struggles. Alex Gordon was a third baseman and was not good, and they moved him out to left field, and then he became a Golden Glover. Yeah. So I think sometimes just getting somebody in the right position where their skill set is better suited to succeed can help them really excel. So I wouldn't look, that's an aberration, right? But I would say that, I wouldn't just totally write him off as, hey, he's just not going to be good. I think that what makes you a good guard and what makes you a good left tackle are very different. I think it's easier to be a good left guard than it is a left tackle, and that's why the left tackles make the money they make. So, I mean,
all accounts,
I'm
that's what
excited
I've
to
heard
see if he can do
players
better. Do what, Bo?
That's what I've heard ex-players say, right?
Yeah.
Is that it is significantly harder to be out on the tackle. It's a whole different kind of skill set, and like
right.
you're alone out there, right? So like you got guys on either side of you in that position.
Right. Like guard is certainly an easier position to play than tackle, but again, the way he played last year, it doesn't instill a lot of confidence that he'll just move to this other position.
Scotty.
He'll move to this other position and be fine. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not trying to be like a negative Nancy or like a pessimist. I'm just trying to be real, right? I mean, everybody thought Sky Moore was going to be the next whatever, and everybody thought Kadarius Toney was going to be the next wide receiver one on this team, and like they weren't.
Yeah, but they
so
didn't switch positions for those guys. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm just trying to say that everybody like on the team isn't going to be like
Travis Kelce used to play quarterback. You know what I mean? Like not in the
NFL. In high school, that's a lot different than he didn't play quarterback in college and then moved to tight end. But yeah, again, not that a change for him can't be helpful, and not that he can't play guard, but from what I saw last year, I'm not going to just automatically assume that he can go over and play another position and be just fine. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying I'm going to have to see it to believe it, right? Like Patrick said that one time about Herbert. I'll believe it when I see it, or I'll see it when I believe it. I'll see it when I believe it.
You have to believe, Scott. You got to believe first, man.
Right, I'm hopeful.
A lot more belief, like if he was just able to stop anybody, man. But like, I would think the point we made is that like we would almost
stop anybody
out there on the field if we just fell over in front of guys and made them have to like jump over us. Like he just literally just like, here you go, there you go, just right at your quarterback there.
Yeah, it was really, really, really bad. But we'll see. I'm definitely hopeful, but time's going to tell him that, and I'm just not willing to make that assumption. That's all. Another storyline. Training camp, mandatory mini camps, practices. Rashee Rice is looking really, really, really good. He's flashing. We all saw the way he played the first 3.5 games last year before he got hurt. Nick, Rashee Rice, aside from maybe a possible suspension, is looking like he's on track to kind of pick up where he left off, right?
Yeah, number one, I'm really happy to see that he's bouncing back, but I just am so impressed with medical science and what they can do with these guys. Dude, when we were kids, that was just, that guy's done forever. You know what I mean?
And then blew his knee out, never played again.
Once Adrian Peterson had that surgery, came back, had that 2,000-yard season, it just seems like what they can do with these guys now is magic. And it's so awesome for them to have that happen and not have it ruin their careers forever, So
right.
It's just really encouraging to see that that he's back and that he's he's able to still have the same speed. Again, you're hearing a lot of positive stuff out of training camp, which they're going to say positive things, but it is good to see that that it looks like that surgery was successful and that he's coming back and going to be ready to play.
Not just a lot of saying stuff. There's a lot of video coming out, but the people like to attend and take videos, and he's looking like he hasn't lost his step, really.
Yeah, he's in the weight room, doing some deadlifts, and he's looking fast and looking crisp and looking smooth out there on the practice field. So, yeah, listen, we were just talking about the offensive line. I feel like if that gets solidified, last year, Chiefs lost Hollywood Brown. They lost Rashee Rice. They lost Isaiah Pacheco partway through the season. They're really, I know we've talked about maybe Isaiah Pacheco. I mean, he's not a Jahmyr Gibbs, right? So we've kind of talked about that. But he's been a serviceable running back on this team and in the offense before. I don't think the running back's ever going to be the focal point of the offense anyway, unless you get into a situation where you have a lot of injuries, maybe like they did last year, and Kareem Hunt was the savior, I guess you could call him.
Yeah, bro, 57 carries a game.
Right, the way he came in, but right, I mean, that offensive line, that's the only question mark, right? I mean, there's no real concerns about wide receiver or tight end or running back or any other position group on the offense. It's that line, and that's really, really, really good to see that Rashee Rice is looking good, and Hollywood Brown, the way he played the last third quarter of last year and into the postseason. Chiefs fans should be excited about the offense. I just got to give Patrick some time, man. That's all. Just give him time.
Out of Xavier Worthing. There's some really good videos of him making some catches over the middle that look really impressive.
Right. So,
all right. So we don't do total yards, but if you had to say who's going to have more yards per game average this year, Xavier Worthy or Rashee Rice, who would you pick?
Well, so I was just kind of going to mention that, right? Like, I was going to mention Rashee Rice because, like, I was a little bullish on, like, how many games he was going to get suspended for. But, like, time's kind of passed. Like, everybody's, recency bias isn't kind of right there anymore. Are you guys still thinking he's getting 6 to 8 games? Or I'm hearing 2 to 4 now. I'm hearing, like, some really, like, optimistic schedules for him.
Can they kick it down another year, and then, like, next year it'll be, like, he misses, like, the first half of a game or something?
Well, that's the other thing, right? It's not... There's no finalized like verdict or anything, or like no charges have been. No, like,
he's got some
charged.
He has some civil suits that are going to be resolved much more quickly than the criminal stuff looks like it's going to be.
Right. But from my understanding, nothing's resolved yet. So like, I don't think the NFL is going to levy a.
No, I don't. It could be though.
It does get resolved.
You could find that he gets a plea agreement in court any day. That could be going on behind the scenes. Who knows? He's got a good lawyer, so. I mean, are we operating on the assumption that both of them are playing a full season with that question? I mean,
that's what
obviously,
because
I mean,
well, it's not total yards; it's just yards per game.
No, I see yards per game. I think you see Rashee Rice probably is going to be wide receiver 1 still. I think
it depends when that suspension would come, though. Right?
Yeah.
Like, if it's in the middle of the season, do you ruin like a hot start almost? Or if it's at the beginning, does he have to like play catch up?
Yeah, I mean the per game thing. I think Rashee Rice is. I think he's got that like yak ability that we saw, right, to run the shorter routes and pick up yards. He can also. We saw him make plays down the field. I think Xavier Worthy's more like the home run threat, maybe the big play guy. So. I mean, if I was putting money on it, I would bet Rashee Rice is still like wide receiver 1 and still has more yards per game. It's also hard to say if a guy plays 16 games. You could play 6 or 10 games and have
because you're going to have some other games that may water down your overall stats.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's harder to compare even the yards per game thing. I mean, I understand where you're going. Like, who's the better wide receiver next year? I mean, kind of is where you're going, right? I mean,
kind of, right? Yeah. Who's the bigger impact?
Right. When they're on the field. I would go with Rashee Rice. Bo, who would you pick? Who's the better receiver? Has a bigger impact?
Barring his suspension when it happens, right? Because I think if like it happens mid-season, you'll see him be like a really good receiver, and then like they're gonna put it in week 6 that he gets suspended for 4 to 6 games or something, kind of ruin your mid to end season and comes back and has to play catch up, right? Then that's a little questionable, right? If it happens at the beginning of the year, I can see him coming back, but like just sheer volume, I think he'll get more yards. But I could actually see Xavier Worthy breaking that, right? Because barring all of our receiving corps is able to stay healthy, we'll have we'll have Hollywood, we'll have Rice, we'll have Travis Kelce. I could really see us opening up the field a lot more. And then, like, one of the other talking points coming out of minicamp is your guys Royals, the receiver, going to be a rookie Royals, right? Like, I hear talk about yak ability. That guy has like such explosive ability. That's what's coming through.
Sure.
On my end from the grapevine about what's coming through on him through minicamp. Word salad there, but yeah, I could actually see Xavier Worthy like getting open, and like, man, we saw it so many times last year where they tried. I mean, they tried, I want to say once or twice a game to put that deep ball in his hands. And man, that guy couldn't either stay in bounds or just couldn't be in the right position. But I could see them cleaning that up a lot this year, especially having a more competent receiving core to back it up and really open the field up.
Nick, who's more impactful or the better receiver?
I'm feeling like Worthy, man. Like, I just think that, like, you saw him, like, and maybe it's just because of what happened towards the end of the Super Bowl, but I think it's more than that. I think Bose kind of alluded to the fact that there were a lot of missed opportunities last year, and that was with guys down and him kind of having to, as a rookie, kind of be like the number one target. And so I just feel like you're going to have that spread out amongst another couple of players there. I think Worthy's going to have a big year this year.
Yeah,
I just have that feeling.
Saw someone in the comments flashed them up pretty quick there. Someone said, who was going to have the Chiefs receiving record or something like that?
Yards after catch here. So one man show, I'm interested in yards after contact with Rice. I predict a franchise record for a receiver.
Like total yards or I don't even know. Do they keep track of like yards after? Do they keep track of like a record for yards after catch for a franchise? I don't.
Yeah, I'm sure they keep track of everything.
But maybe I misunderstood. Maybe Big Bryce saying that he's going to break the record for receiving yards for the franchise.
Yeah,
is that Tyreek Hill has it?
Yeah, Tyreek Hill. Sounds like you're not expecting him to be suspended at all if that's the case, because that's going to be a tall task, even if you get to play the extra 17th game, right? Tyreek Hill, he's got the record. He had 1,400 something?
Yeah.
1,430 something?
Shit.
I don't know if someone can look that up or not, or bring that up for us, but that's a tall task. As far as Yak goes, have the Chiefs ever really had like a big yards after catch receiver? Like Travis Kelce, obviously. Yeah, and Jamal Charles running back, I guess. He's not a receiver though.
Right.
It's pretty bleak Chiefs history, really. You go back through.
Dwayne
Dwayne Bowe had that one big year,
one big year.
In 2018, Tyreek Hill had 1,479 yards.
14, so that was almost 1,500.
That's
gonna be tough,
or is
man.
that just like AI to tell you how much yak he had that year?
I don't know how you find that out, but
you want me to see how much Yak Hill had that year, or like
Tyreek Hill didn't have a lot of yards after. Tyreek Hill never had a lot of yards after catch. Yards after contact. Yards after catch.
Contact. I was thinking catch. Excuse me, I didn't even read that. I was assuming yards after catch.
Yeah, yards after catch. So like big yak guys in Chiefs history, I don't even know who that would be. Tyreek Hill's a lot of his yards got to be yards after catch, right? Tyreek Hill's.
Oh yeah. He also was catching like 60-yard bombs too.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
Well, that'd be interesting to think about now, because he caught a lot of his passes when he was 40, 50 yards downfield. So, that's.
But then he also ran like another 30 or 40 every time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
he defenses.
Saying the yards after contact aren't consistently reported in public records. So no, that's a 4-second AI search.
Right. Yards after catch is. You might have to look up see if you get some deep dive into that later. But
I'll look into it this week. I got some.
But we'll give you a 15% bonus on your current salary if you get that reported for us.
50% pay cut. I got to earn it back now. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Chiefs offense should be high flying again this year if guys can stay healthy. Man, Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy's looking like that could be a potent 1-2 there.
Maybe right, Andre Rison.
Yeah, Andre Rison, old Badman Rison. Other Chiefs news: Casey Wolf. Dan Mears, the guy that's been the Casey Wolf for like 34 years. I saw 35 years is going to be retiring. Man, first of all, kudos to an amazing career for that guy. Like to do that job for 35 years, man.
What a job!
What a job! What an amazing job. It's been talk about now. People are like, "Oh, we need to get rid of the mascot," which we need to change the mascot now. Like I don't know where like some of the
brings this up on Twitter. And
some
like,
of the
one person on Twitter equals 1,000 people now.
Right.
So now,
That's why we did this week's CKL poll. I kind of wanted to see like we wanted to see where the sentiment lied with that. I don't know if one of you guys can get to that and bring that up here or not, but
I'm looking here.
Casey Wolf, an interesting conversation going around too with him is like, does Casey Wolf, does he go into like the Ring of Honor? Like, you think about it, man, like the guy has done a lot for Chiefs and Chiefs Kingdom. Just people online, man. It's just fun talking points. Hilarious. People on the radio talk about it. People online.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's go with it. Let's put him up there. Why not? 35 years.
Man, I mean, I think you could put him like in the Chiefs Hall of Fame or something, maybe. But like
Hall of Fame would probably be
the Ring of Honor. I mean,
isn't that the same thing? I mean,
could that be just
Ring of Honor when you?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they got coaches, like they got Hank Strams up there in the Ring of Honor. He wasn't a player, but he was a coach. I mean, should that be reserved for coaches and players though?
So I was just thinking about it, like, right? Would Mitch Holthus deserve a spot up there? Like, not a player, but like I would say yeah.
I mean, I guess it comes down to, do you think that the Ring of Honor should be reserved for coaches and players only?
And traditionally it has been, right?
Yeah, there's nobody up there that's not a player or a coach. And mostly players too, right?
Yeah, I'm okay with keeping it traditionally that way. But I mean, it's hard to say because I mean, like, that's such a service and such a integral. I mean, it's not like it doesn't have any effect on the game. But like, I like bringing up Mitch Holthus or like even the mascot. Like, they're such integral parts of like being a Chiefs fan. Like yeah. Do they go just in the trophy room kind of area, like around the perimeter of the stadium or something? I think they deserve something a little bit more deserving of that in the stadium.
Nick, Ring of Honor, is that coaches and players only, or should someone like Casey Wolf or Mitch Holthus or so, should they get up in there too?
Yeah, I mean, I think there should be a spot for those people, right? I mean, I just feel like they've contributed to the team, for, in a way, maybe not like directly on the field, but like in a way that significantly outlasts the efforts of any one single player, right?
Yeah.
You look at what happened to, we were talking about it before the show, where he fell during that stunt, and was injured, had a punctured lung and fractured ribs and tailbone, and
he was jacked up.
Ruptured spleen. And I mean, like, that's giving more for the team, or as much as any other player has physically, right? Like, if you look at it that way, I just think that that's somebody that you should remember, right? Like, it's somebody you should remember. And I think that that's maybe kind of what you're getting at with a Ring of Honor or a Hall of Fame. And it's like, I think that's something that they should figure out. Maybe it's in a separate spot, but I don't know, man. That's I think so.
Man. I just read Big Doug's comment. That's so great. I think he's earned some recognition for the years of service, but dude, not only is he kind of a dork, he's not even a player. Yeah. Sorry. I know we just talked about something really serious that happened to him.
Man, I don't know why Big Doug's got to like slander the mascot guy. I don't know where that's coming from, but
that's good.
Jason Wolf doesn't watch the show.
Right. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I would lean Ring of Honor needs to be reserved for coaches and players, but I don't feel strongly that way. I wouldn't have like a problem necessarily, if they decided to go that way. If you're not following us on our social media, check us out there at Chiefs Kingdom Live. We put the poll up. I mean, it's only 70-30. There's a decent number of people that want to get rid of Casey and Wolf. I mean, maybe these are the same people that want alternate jerseys and want a new stadium and want a new mascot. I mean, are you even a fan? Do you even like the team, man? Like, do you even like the Chiefs really? Or if you want to change everything about them,
these are the same people that when like they do like a refresh on something you use all the time on your computer or on your phone,
and
then like it's not as good, they're like, yeah, but it looks so new and crisp and different.
Right? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody on here is wanting to get a new mascot, right? I mean, they just need to find somebody else to carry on KC Wolf.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the most logical thing, right? But
Right.
next man up, right? Isn't that the mentality of the Chiefs? Next man up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Right. Those are big shoes to fill because KC Wolf not only does
literally
right, literally and figuratively. I mean, not just for like the stuff on the field. That guy like he like jumps off the four-wheeler to tackle people. Like, I'm gonna go get on a four-wheeler right now and get that bad boy up to about half speed and jump off of it and try to keep running. You know what I mean? That dude is he'll just walk around and high five people in the stands. Like, he has done some crazy stunts. So it's gonna be hard to fill, but he also does a lot of like charity and a lot of things in the community. Right. He's a pun intended there. I'm glad one of you guys picked up on that, or both of you picked up on it, I guess. But my own main show saying name VIP part, maybe like a lot, maybe like it's KC Wolf lot, like out there at the stadium. I don't know.
Lot Dan. Yeah, look, I don't
Dan.
think his name should be like in the Ring of Honor of the stadium, but I think that if he had like a spot in the, the Hall of Fame there in the stadium,
Hall of Honor, right.
Yeah, the Hall of Honor, like I think that'd be fine.
Yeah, no, he should definitely be honored in some way. But man, like that, I think when the Ring of Honor, man, like players and coaches.
I mean, do you think Mark Donovan should be in the Hall of Fame?
Not in the Ring of Honor.
Not in the Ring of Honor, but in the Hall of Fame. President during the dynasty.
I guess I don't know how much like being the team president has to do with like the on the field success. I mean, they got Andy Reid, but Clark Hunt's like the chairman and CEO, right, of the team CEO. Like, I don't know.
I think they could do something, right? Like if they didn't give like the dude that sweeps the floors a Super Bowl ring, it's not the same Super Bowl ring the players get, but he gets a ring. You know what I mean? I think there's something they could do for him that is not the same level as what the players get, but in a way to recognize him and to remember, is what he did. And they should do that for that band leader too, if he was,
Well, I mean, they honored him by. Right, they have the TD Pack Band, right? I mean, Tony DePardo is who they're talking about. Yeah, I mean, that's where the KC Wolf, that's where the mascot came from, was like the Wolf Pack Band. Like, I think that was a nod to that guy. So, I remember those seats back behind the end zone too. I remember seeing those as a kid, watching the game. So, bye Wolf.
Like,
hello
the
War Paint.
Football vibe with bands playing and stuff like that, like because every college game has one, but some professional games have it like off the side during like intermissions and stuff. But you guys a fan?
Yeah,
of that?
I mean, it's all right. They got Chiefs Rumble that does stuff, right? And they obviously got the cheerleaders, but I don't know.
Is the Rumble that drum line?
Yeah, there's the drum line. Yeah, it's all right.
They're legit.
Like, I don't know. It's an entertaining part of the product, but I mean, I don't see why you got to get rid of KC Wolf to bring back War Paint. That was one of the dumbest things ever when they got rid of War Paint. Like, and would do like the lap around the field. Do the lap around the field after they score a touchdown.
Eric Berry wasn't upset, right?
Eric Berry wasn't upset, and he was afraid of horses. But yeah, look, man, I don't think you need to get rid of KC Wolf to bring back War Paint. You could have both. I mean, they had both for a long time.
War Paint,
right, and it worked out fine having both of them. So. Yeah, I mean, I'm team keep KC Wolf, and I'm team bring back War Paint as well.
Look at this, like,
yeah,
bring them back.
Put us on the payroll.
Just as idea, guys, really.
Yeah, I was happy with Chiefs Kingdom in the poll. Strong support behind keeping KC Wolf, and people are like, it doesn't make any sense at all. Like, well. If you understood the history, you would know it has to do with the Wolf Pack Band, where the wolf comes from. But wolves are also a pretty big thing in Native American culture, right? I mean, they're growing up in the Southwest, we experienced a lot of like Native American, right? Yeah, and wolves are
arts and crafts, even like government buildings and stuff.
The wolves,
wolves and
wolves, bison. Couple animals, are like synonymous with Native American and American Indian culture. So, God, I saw another like Chiefs mock-up alternate uniform that was awful, terrible. It's like Chiefs got a good thing, man. Don't rock the boat. Don't fix it if it ain't broke, right? You got a cool mascot. You got a great best jersey in the NFL, right? I mean, awesome stadium. Like
Classic looks never go out of style, right?
No.
Like,
Yeah.
When the Broncos came out with their new uniforms, there was a lot of buzz around them. And after a few years, people were like, yeah, actually, maybe those aren't that cool. You know what I mean?
Those are awful.
It's like Jinko jeans, you know? Like, people aren't still wearing those.
Still cool.
They're still wearing regular
I still
Levi's
have
501s.
No, actually, I saw some teenage kids wearing some like super baggy pants. They thought they're being all rebellious. And I'm like, shit, you guys don't know about Jinkos.
Right,
Just wait,
Jinko.
it's gonna make a comeback.
Maybe Jinkos weren't the best, example there, but that's the first one that came to mind.
I mean, I'm surprised they haven't brought those things back yet. Someone hasn't bought that name. But those were the shit back in the day. I know that. Old Pats and Broncos logos 10 times better than the current. Can't see whose comment that is there, but yeah,
One
no,
man
they
show.
are. Right. It's also I'm not a boomer. I'm after the boomer generation, but I also like the traditional original looks and
Buccaneers too, right?
The Buccaneers.
Yeah, I like the old
Their stuff new is pretty dope though. That big ass pirate flag with skull and crossbones is pretty sweet. Everything that was old becomes new again at some point, and like Nick said, like classic stuff never goes out of style. It's only fads that come and go. I don't know, any other Chiefs news, any other NFL stuff you guys want to get to? Anybody in the comments got a question?
I think we can save it for next week. We got some weeks to fill till.
No, it won't be no time at all. It won't be no time at all until training camp's here, bro. Like training camp be here before you know it. Really appreciate everybody watching tonight. It was good to have Bo back. It was good to see all of our friends there in the chat. Yeah, the Raiders still.
Thank you everybody for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Right, that's the old joke. The Raiders got eye patch over one eye and has the other eye closed because he can't stand to watch the team play. So
I think the Raiders are petitioning to just also have the Chiefs logo because they win more in Allegiant Stadium than they do.
Right, yeah, let's get a pat on that. So, Big Doug, the old orange crush uniforms. I don't like anything Denver. I'm not a big fan of orange either. Orange and purple, just those two colors, they don't do it for me, man. But make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe. Maybe tell a friend, tell a family member, tell some Chiefs fans, help spread the word. We'll be back next week, talk about Chiefs and NFL news. And until then, let's go Chiefs.
All right, let's go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.